alright. I'm gonna leave this for later, and we're just gonna get a new one. Boop. Well, for my purposes, if you're familiar with the character Princess Celestia, she has green, blue, pink, purple wavy hair with sparkles and a gradient. Oh, I can get the mane and tail custom printed onto like Minky or Fleece, and it saves a lot of time. And so, or should I say so, instead of cutting out 4 different colors of fabric, sewing 9 seams together, it's just one seam. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know you could custom print on Minky and Fleece. That's interesting. I thought they only had canvas and cotton. Interesting. It does save a lot of time, by the way you're describing this. I feel like, though, isn't it too expensive? I feel like my plushies would become way too expensive for my liking. Because eventually the customer has to pay for it, is what I'm saying. I mean, I guess the thing is, I try to also get a lot of local products. Because I have this thing where I buy fabrics that other people would usually maybe throw away because they were like leftover fabrics. I tried to buy those to make my plushies out of. I wouldn't necessarily call it eco-friendly, but at least we're not throwing away the fabrics. And I'm like kind of reusing them in a better way. At least that's the concept to it. So I try to avoid buying too many custom stuff when it comes to fabrics and whatnot. Yay! Alright, let me see. So this part was done, wasn't it? The mouth and the eyes and whatnot? Yeah, okay. I will move on to the sleeves. Yeah, I'm very happy with the pre-orders. I was very surprised. I never get pre-orders on events. So getting 10 pre-orders was suddenly like, oh, okay. I need some work. I mean, usually if people pass by on events, they are interested perhaps in a custom commission, but they usually do not order it right away. They're just thinking about it, which makes a lot of sense. I would probably do the same thing. Yeah, nice. As for Peepo, I mean, I might make some Peepo in the future, but Peepo is not going to be my standardized character of the forest. More or less it would become like a special in case where I might, maybe sometimes I'll make Peepo. Right now, for example, I was looking for Peepo fabric on the market, which is the downside to my concept. It's like I don't buy the prints in stores, but if people want to have more of the exact same prints, it is pretty tough for me to get it. So I was asking the same seller, like, do you have more of this fabric? And he's like, I probably have, but it's like in the store. So you'd have to go to the store, which, I mean, kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's not great because the store is located in a very specific like area, and I never go there. It's not in the same town either. So I'd had to go out of my way to the store only for the fabric. Again, it's the downside to not having one place online where you can buy and reorder the same fabric, I guess. Let me just this one and then this one and this. Let's go with the hands now. Peepo hands. Here we go. Wo ist das Mädel? Bin eigen... Wrong with chat. I'm like, wait, this is German. What is this? Mädel. Bin eingepennt bei der Hitze. I don't know what Hitze is. You could make a seasonal Peepo. Oh, that would be so cute. Imagine a Peepo with like a sun hat with flowers, and he's like holding a basket with flowers or something. No. I mean, I can, maybe in the future I'll make it, but like, that type of plushie takes so much time mainly, and different fabrics. I would start to climb up higher when it comes to cost price and whatever people need to pay to purchase it. No way I can sell that for less than already Peepo was. And then all the extra things added. Oh, okay. I usually, like, there's a lot of plushie makers out there that only do those highly priced plushies. Like custom commission prices, like 300 bucks, 400 bucks, or whatever. I've never done any type of plushie like that before. The case is that people bought plushies of me that cost like more than 100 bucks. It was for like multiple things, not really one plushie, I believe. I can't say that it's never gonna happen though. Like, there is a chance that eventually I'll do some of those plushies. Ideally, I would do a combination. I would have slightly cheaper plushies, more expensive plushies, and then for those who want to have like unlimited, like, not unlimited, but like the very specialized plushies, might have to go higher than that. I do like the idea of having more one-time plushies, which means I used to have some of those in the past where I had a plushie and I would create little pieces of clothing for it to put on, and then I would sell the whole thing as one plushie. I would love to have that in the future again, because it's a great way to extend my creativity, not to just create whatever I already have in terms of shapes and forms. Custom commissions help with that as well, but it's just nice to make some plushies that take me a longer time, and I can completely decide on my own what I do with them, and then sell them on events, for instance, and then find that one person that's like, oh, I need that one because it's so special. It's like wearing clothes and stuff. Here's an example. A yard of custom spoonflower minky is $30 a yard, and you're making a character like Rainbow Dash who has rainbow mane and tail. Right, and let's say half yard of minky is $7 each. 7 times 6, $42 because of all 6 colors of the rainbow. I don't know what you guys think about like what is expensive fabric and what isn't. I feel like I made it a sport to buy cheap fabric. The thing is that it's very... I like the hobby of finding the cheapest option, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to find cheaper options, but not worse options. which means I usually buy little pieces of coupons that are like leftovers, but to me they're like huge chunks that I can still use. If you judge by the amount of fabric in the background here, you can already see like how little my pieces are. I have some here as well. Let me show you a little bit. I need to redo this part, but that's actually a great example. There's this whole bunch of fabrics. For instance, this is a leftover bed sheet that someone was gonna throw away. And I was like, no, don't throw it away. Look how pretty that fabric is. And it is. I really like this fabric. And to some people, it's like, this is not much. Like, what do you create with this? And I'm like, this is a huge chunk for me. There's even more, of course, because this is just, I think, the cushion. But even with, like, let's say this, I remember buying this. I bought this coupon. It's super soft. I can't tell you what the fabric is. I would guess some sort of wool. Linen type of shit. But, like... yeah, I really like finding these rather than purchasing certain fabrics online, I guess. But yeah, if you're recreating a character, of course, it's gonna be more... it's gonna be harder to find the right fabric when you're just doing it by coupons. But I guess it's basically the concept of the plushies I'm doing. Like, my whole concept is that everyone is unique, one of a kind. I'm never recreating a second or a third version of that same resident. I kind of knew that fan art was going to be popular. And I didn't mind doing it for a little bit, but I need to stay a little bit, I want to keep my distance with fan art a little bit. I'd much rather work on my unique products. If that makes sense. My German sounds great. I haven't talked German in a long time. I can talk a little bit of German. When I go to Dokumi, I could talk German, but I usually go back to English after a few sentences. It does take a lot of time, because, I mean, she has 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in her hair and like sparkles that has a gradient. Oh my god. That sounds like a heckin' time. I'm trying to see. Is it here? Should be here. Ah. Nice. I mean, Peepo is fun, and I really like making Peepo, but if I don't want to go and become a full-on fan art plushie maker. It's not my thing. Fan art to me is a very, very much a side project thing. I probably made more Peepo than I anticipated on making already. But at the same time, I have to be very realistic. Like, if financially I would not be able to make it whatever way, I would probably consider selling a few Peepo to keep my rent going. It does depend on how everything goes, of course. I can't honestly say like, oh, you know, like my own products are not doing as great as other stuff. which luckily is not the case. I was kind of afraid of that when I started, because original art is, to me, more fun to do. So I feel like just the fact that I started doing that and I kept doing that and people like it is probably what I'm most thankful for when it comes to my art. I mean, yeah, if I would conclude it after just... It's gonna be like a year of full-time working in October, I think. I'd have to check my old, like, my old invoices when I used to work. But I think it was October. Again, the most thankful I am is just to make my original art and that people like that. And I can just basically create a new shape and then hopefully people will like it and keep making those instead of having to be making fan art all the time, which is probably what would make me very bored, honestly. But at the same time, I really don't want to disregard people that do make fan art that way, because there's a ton of people out there that will make plushies just as like fan art and stuff. It's like more of a personal preference. It really depends on the project when using custom printed fabric. I mean, I do like the concept of custom printed fabric. I was thinking of maybe making fabric in Photoshop and then printing it on fabric. Which, yeah, so that means I could use my own fabric to make plushies, but I would probably make Mamorumori specific fabric. So like fabric that contains plums or fabric that contains Giro Giro Gama residents. That would be cute. But it probably is too expensive for me right now, so maybe in the future. Thank you, Jem. That's so sweet. Oh, no, you're not coming off as someone that says you're doing it wrong. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm a total noob. If you look at the way I'm sewing things together, you can definitely say that I'm a noob, because I am. So I don't actually mind it, to be honest. I don't feel criticized whatsoever. Even if people do criticize me, it's like, it is what it is. I guess that is... Yeah, I kind of like that I have that, because I've been growing up very creative, like drawing and whatnot, painting. And in the past, I used to be very, like, afraid of what people are gonna think. Like, are they gonna like it? Are they not gonna like it? And then they criticize you, and it's like, oh no, they're criticizing me. This feels so bad. And then, right now, I don't care anymore. It's nice. I mean, I care if people are, like, if they give me feedback. I like having feedback. But, like, if people are worried, like, oh, you're doing it wrong, and your art sucks, you know, I will be like, okay, it's just not for you. It's okay. I mean, the most common criticism I get is like about prices of plushies. I mean, it's at this point, it's becoming like a very boring discussion almost, if that makes sense. I didn't even think about it at first until I talked to fellow plushie makers, and they said it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I never thought about getting those types of customers. And then I got those customers, and I was like, oh, then it's not for you. Like, that's end of the discussion. You don't have to buy my plushies, so it's not like you have to buy my plushies, otherwise you're a bad man. Define awkward customers. I did have awkward customers, but I'm not sure we're talking about the same type of awkwardness. I've had socially awkward people, but I've also had awkward people when it comes to like pricing. Yeah, usually it's about pricing, isn't it? Because there is an idea of what something is gonna cost, and then it's like more expensive, and then they have certain behavior at that point. I think that's the most common practice, but even for other artists, that's probably a thing, isn't it? It doesn't have to be a plushie artist only thing. But maybe because people are used to certain prices when it comes to plushies. Some people don't understand the time and effort that goes into it. I mean, I would say a lot of people do not understand that. I mean, until you do something yourself, it's kind of hard for people to judge it correctly. But clearly, yeah, like you said, sometimes, I mean, I don't really mind if people do not get it. It's more like, what is your behavior about it? You know, that's kind of the thing. It's like, it's okay if you don't get it, if you don't want to get it, or like just don't buy it then. Like, it's obviously not for you. But it's more like the behavior of trying to tell the artist that they're wrong is kind of like the awkward part, I feel like. Or telling them like, oh, you know, this plushie is this expensive, and you should do it cheaper. And I'm like, yeah, it's none of your business. I like it though when people are open-minded about it. They're just genuinely interested to find out, like, why is a price the way it is, or what does it, like, what is the, let's say, A to Z product like how do you start, how do you go on, how do you finish a product, I guess. Those are obviously the more fun customers, of course. We just had a beware post go through My Little Pony plush maker community. Oh, really? I don't know a lot about the My Little Pony stuff. The only things I know is that I've seen them on Instagram. Like, I've seen plushie makers dedicated towards that community. That's literally all I know about it. And they're very impressive. Like, most of the ones I've seen are super impressive. Sewing Lover, hello! Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Twitch. Currently, I'm working on a Peepo plushie. If you're not familiar with Twitch, you might actually not know who Peepo is. But Peepo is a character based on Pepe the Frog, but it's like a small, cute version of it. It's like a fan art piece I'm currently doing. Usually I'm working on the plushies that are kind of also shown in this gallery down below. I usually work on that, like, original art. So if it would be another day, I would tell you, well, I would make plants, flowers, trees of the Mamorumori forest. And then also sometimes the animals, who are like the caretakers of them in the forest. That's kind of my normal type of work that I'm working on. But currently I'm working on a fan art piece. And it's always plushies. So I don't have any other types of sewing projects. I only work on plushies currently. Person, I've been DMing plush makers and then throwing a fit. Oh, I think I saw that post on Twitter or something. It was kind of funny to me. It's like they're trying to get the cheapest artist option there is, but yeah, they kind of have to find out that even if they would go to me, I would be like, sorry, that's like, I'm not gonna be working on that custom commission, and if I were, I'd have to ask a price that you're probably not gonna pay, so like... Is it hard? That's a tough question to ask, because it really depends on who you are, what you like, I would like to think that I'm a creative person, so it would be not very hard for me, but at the same time, currently I'm making all my patterns, so I do not work from pre-cooked patterns. I only make my own patterns. I think that is the hard part. Testing the pattern or even coming up with the pattern is like the hardest part. If you start by creating plushies from existing patterns, I feel like it is not as hard as people make it out to be. Especially for me, if you compare it to making clothing, I feel like clothing is harder, but I've been often told that I'm wrong. That plushies are more like harder to make. I feel like clothing is more hard, but like that's a personal thing, I guess. Currently it is my full-time occupation though, so it is helping that I can currently focus on working on it. If it would only be my hobby, then I'd have less practice experience, I guess. I'm currently having a lot of experience because I'm spending a lot of time on it, so that helps, to be honest. Do you like seeing how my plushie's made? That's nice. When doing this on Twitch, you never know if people are gonna be interested. Obviously, like, but it's nice. It's like, it's nice that you enjoy that, guys. I try to make as many plushies as I can on Twitch. Obviously, I cannot do everything, because truth is that there's just a lot of plushies to make and less time on Twitch than I have. Making plushies on Twitch is also way slower than I would do it without the Twitch channel on. But at the same time, I'm happy that you guys like it. I like showing you how I work, and if you ever come to adopt a plushie in the future, there is a chance that you saw it being created on Twitch, I guess. They had some very creative insults. They were just salty that they didn't accept their custom commission, I guess. Customers of custom commissions can be very demanding. Luckily, most people that I've encountered with are not that type of customer. I would even consider not taking a custom commission if I notice that the person is not nice about it, or very... I'd say, how are you saying that? If you're like talking down on someone else, like as if the customer is in fact a king, and then you have to like be the labor guy for them in a very weird leveled situation. I feel like I'd rather have customers that were like talking in the same level. Obviously they are customers, so I do want to have their thoughts being created in real life, but it's way better to have a proper communication on both sides, you know? I hope your eyebrows fall out. What is that? That's a very interesting insult. It's I would laugh at that, to be honest. I'd like to think that I've been through enough fights and discussions that a lot of things that people tell me, even in the heat of the moment, I don't really care about, if that makes sense. Well, that one is kind of funny, not gonna lie. I told my students we soon will have one more student in class. They love Peepo. They want to see their face when they see them. You're gonna bring Peepo to class? Really? Entitled. Oh yeah, that's the word. Sorry, I'm not complete, like, I'm not English, so I don't know, sometimes I have a word in mind and I'm thinking I'm not sure what the English word is. And titles is definitely a good one. But I appreciate the help. Oh, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, by the way. I love answering questions. If the question is, will you make me a free plushie? The answer is no. There's definitely some things that I'm lucky with when being a plushie artist, I feel like, instead of someone that draws. I feel like when you are someone that draws things, they're like, you're an artist when it comes to drawing 2D prints or paintings or whatever. There's a lot of people that kind of know about it, but plushie making, I don't think that there's a lot of people that realize you can have a custom-made plushie. It's obviously not as, I guess, normalized as it is to get a portrait painted or get a piece of art that you wanted to have custom made. Plushies is very much still a niche, I guess. Which is obviously, like, I kind of like that in a way. I don't like it in the way that people will not find you unless you're doing a lot of effort into reaching out to them. But I do like it when it comes to, I don't know, people are generally nice right now. I still need to find that one interaction that is not nice. And I hope to not find it anytime soon, obviously, like... When I offered you sweet, sweet exposure for plush, that sounds very 2022, doesn't it? The whole exposure thing. Give me something, and I'll give you exposure. Sounds very 2022. This is why my students love my lessons. I always have a surprise. Oh, really? Before Christmas, I'll do a raffle for some Twitch merch from TwitchCon. They begged for pictures and videos from Amsterdam? That's so cute. Is it like, what kind of class are you teaching? Is it like a one class or multiple classes? Oh boy, the cute children. I still need to reach out to some people for some custom commissions. I really should not forget that. I kind of hate that about it. I have so much things to do that I actually am forgetting stuff. I'm usually not the type of person to forget stuff. I'm usually very structured, but because there's a lot going on and I'm like the only one responsible, it does make me think sometimes, like, oh wait, there's no one gonna remind me of this. I have to do it myself. Whoops. Something completely different. So I went to the market yesterday and I had a fun time because there was a lot of sale going on. I ran into someone I know, which I usually never have, which was fun. I didn't see her for some time, so it was nice to catch up a little. I'm thinking what else. Well, I bought quite some fabrics and it was pretty cheap, which was great. I got to talk with some people again. Usually I feel like very young when I walk around because a lot of people around me are, I guess, quite older when they go search for fabrics. But it's always fun to talk to people, like about what you're doing or the type of project you're gonna be working on. Most people I talk to are like they're doing it for a hobby. I noticed. Oh, you have PC classes. That's so cute. I mean, it makes a lot of sense if it's PC class to include Twitch and TwitchCon, I guess. That's cute. I have a quick way you can up your plushies. Magnets. I think I've seen magnets before. Is it like for add-ons on plushies? Like I think I saw like a hand of a plushie and then they put a magnet in the hand and then you had like a magnet of, let's say, a sword and you can like click it onto the plushie. Something like that? I think I've seen that before somewhere. There's a high probability it was Instagram, to be honest. Nope. So... yeah, I've seen that before, the magnet thing. I haven't done it myself. I mean, I was thinking about making, like a door stopper at some point. So to make my plushies, or one type of plushie I haven't really figured out, to make them like weigh a bit more, and then you can use them as like a door stopper. The problem with these new ideas is that I'd need to have time to include it to actually work on them. I'm kind of hoping that winter time will bring me this when there's less events to work on. I have like a brainstorm list, which is like huge at this point, of like ideas, which are like ideas for new plushies, but also ideas for, you know, market stall shit, or like new events, or new ways of doing things. A toilet for Peepo would be hilarious. I'd wonder if I would make that out of a plushie though, because you'd need to have a plushie and another plushie, and then a plushie toilet though. Oh, that's so cute. I mean, I could totally see that work when it comes to like magnets for maybe their hair, like for the Fwa folk. They sometimes have something in their hair, if that makes sense. I don't know how to attach the magnet though, but I'm pretty sure there was already like a tutorial out there trying to teach you. I'm like thinking, wait, like this, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was doing it right. When I'm streaming, sometimes I forget to properly think how I should work out this plushie thing. So I'm just doing it again to make sure I'm not making mistakes I don't want to make. Oh, what I'm afraid of as a plushie maker, if we're talking about fears that I do have, it's two things what I'm mainly afraid of as a plushie maker. One, it is a plushie gets lost during shipment. That's definitely the first the first fear, because they're all unique, so it's I mean, it sucks anyways when something gets lost in mail or traffic, but for plushies, definitely. That's the first fear. And the second fear is probably someone stealing your design. I'm so astonished by the amount of people, but also organizations, that are still stealing shit to this day. I'm afraid that one day someone or an organization notices my creation and is like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And maybe even become more successful with it or something. I don't really care about the successful part. It's more like because everything I make is unique. It's like my personal thing. I guess it's the same with artists. Let's say general artists who they steal from. Which is usually why I don't support any type of merchandise or whatever that's not, like, let's say, supporting the original artist. I guess those are my two fears. I mean, of course, if plushie making doesn't make enough, I'd rather not go back to regular work. I guess, I'm not sure if that's a fear or not, but it's more of a, I'm gonna try to work towards a future where I don't have to worry about that shit. Rather than anything else, honestly. It's one of the first things I'm gonna do, right? Like, I was even starting with it right now. It's like copywriting, to be honest. Like, I wish I didn't have to do it, but it does make me feel more at ease to put copyright on my designs and stuff. Nandikode. Oh wait, this is good. Okay. Let me just prepare this part. Don't steal art, guys. That's bad. I feel like it's normalized. That's the problem. Wrong way. Oh no, it's the wrong way. This is what happens when I don't check it before I start sewing. Damn it! Okay, but I can still fix it if I just continue the other way. Oh, that's not great though, I just realized. But okay, I can do this. I can do this. We'll be fine. We're but a good people. And people does like it too. Okay, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. My fear is plush getting damaged in damaged in transit because they're terrible penis sized and fragile. Oh, okay. I don't know about the damage though. One of my plushies I thought was gonna be damaged, but it turns out everything was damaged but the plushie. That was great. I feel like lost is more terrible. I mean, damage is obviously not great either. I don't think they're gonna be damaged because I did something. It's more like the post office will fuck up. Maybe leave them out in a huge thunderstorm or something. Like that. I don't know any other way to have them damaged, to be honest. music a little less loud, please. Yeah, there we go. We almost have the bum part of Peepo ready, actually. The part where he's sitting down. I still need to bring my sewing machine to a repair place. But ever since I moved to a new place, I haven't decided on like my new repair guy. I haven't decided actually. My sewing machine is kind of like a car to other people. Like, it's a very important piece of device. You feel emotionally connected with, if that makes sense. At least I do. My sewing machine is like the one that's always there for me. Without sewing machine, there is nothing. I mean, how could it? Like, my entire business is kind of dependent on it. I could make plushies by hand again, but like, I'd rather not. I was thinking, this. Like this. Yeah. Sorry, I have random anime music in my head. Oh, something completely different. Upcoming weekend, I have my housewarming party. And some people have never seen my place before, so I'm very happy to finally share it a little bit. I've been decorating a little bit here and there, working on small things of the house. Cause, well, the house is still not ready. Even during the party, there's multiple rooms that are not ready, but it's more of the idea of like, hey guys, this is our new place. Let's celebrate this new beautiful place together, you know? I don't know if you guys have ever had a housewarming party or whatever. Or if it's even common to do that. Yeah! We got the sitting down Peepo part. And now we're gonna attach this hand. This hand. Yeah. So Peepo has hands. Yeah. Damn it. For mine, because it was such a small scale, I used glue in a few parts. Something completely different. Oh, glue! For the magnets. I never used glue from our plushies. Me. You're late. This wizard is never late. He precisely arrived when he means to, Frodo Baggins. I was not. What's going on? Sunkoi! Arigato gozaimasu! Welcome! Thank you for the raid! Welcome to my stream, guys. I hope you had a good time with Sunkoi. Judging by the name, I think they were making a cosplay, but do tell me how your stream was. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Hello. 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 Well, my name is Slowy. I'm currently working on a Peepo plushie. And basically, I make plushies for a living. And I try to share my experience with you guys on Twitch while having chill music on the background. Telling you guys a little bit about everything, mainly. And, yeah. I work on plushies of the Mamorumori forest. Although I currently work on a Peepo plushie. Let's say 99% of what I make is original art dedicated to the Mamorumori forest, which is a forest where the plants, flowers, and the trees are the residents of the forest, and the animals are their caretakers. You can see some examples down here in the gallery on stream, or in any of the links going to my webpage. A ton of examples, and more about the story there as well, but feel free to ask questions. Oh, what kind of cosplay you're working on? It's, yeah, it's my full-time job currently. My own company, I guess. Yeah, they love the Animal Crossing pillow? Nice. So far, I've only heard good things about the pillow, so that's good. I'm happy that people are enjoying it. It's one of those items I also use myself, not gonna lie. It's very comfy to sleep with. I have it on my couch or my chair, actually. Come on, Peepo, you fatty. You can work it. Work it. I was making a robe for a Thranduil. Did someone say Lord of the Rings or Tolkien? I'm a huge fan. Tolkien, I mean. Ah, that's so good. I have, well, I'm still working on my entire setup, but I kind of hope to have my Tolkien love somewhere in the background of the stream. Although I think it's too much, so it might be in the same room, but not really in the same setup for the stream. But you're making a robe for Thranduil? Are you like cosplaying it yourself, or is it like a custom order or something? Thranduil. Huh. It's only 8 days left, guys, until the release of Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. I must say, I'm not excited. I'm excited, I'm not. It's a very, very weird combination. Not gonna lie. I've seen the trailer, I was not very impressed. I must honestly say, there are definitely things. It's hard to let go of it. But I'm gonna watch it anyway, and I'm gonna enjoy the things that I do like. So I'm gonna focus on the things that I do like, and mention the ones I don't like, and then keep it at that. That's basically my experience with this new show. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, so they are working on Rings of Power, which is an Amazon Prime show with multiple seasons about Middle-earth in the Second Age, which is the same world as, you know, from Frodo Baggins, who brought the ring to Mount Doom type of setting, but yeah, there's a lot of controversy going on in this show. Just like anything else that's made from a book, honestly. It's the same, but it's I think because Tolkien fans are very nitpicky. We are very nitpicky. I'm even very nitpicky. Tolkien's world is just something very dear to us, and it's like people are touching it and they're like reworking it, and then we're all like, what's going on? I mean, we're all loving, not all, but lots of people are loving the Peter Jackson movies, if we don't count the Hobbit movies. The first 3 are fine. They're great. They got me into Tolkien anyway, but not gonna lie, there's definitely downsides to this whole thing, and the Rings of Power, I feel like it's gonna extend that thing where people are like, oh, this is so far from the original work that I'm not sure we're gonna like it, type of thing. We can talk hours about how I think you should make a book into a TV series, but I feel like there's like a million YouTube videos about this as well. Like, my itty bitties are too small for magnets. I mean, I do use glue to put a magnet in. For example, let's say I want to put a magnet in hand. I have it inside out, glue my magnet in place, and then I'll glue like a patch or felt to be like sealed in pocket. Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of, it's like a protective thing for the magnet. That makes a lot of sense. It's like, don't get too excited in case it's disappointing. I think it's gonna be disappointing anyway. I think it's more of a case, if you really like Tolkien and you really, really expect it to be 100% Tolkien, you're gonna be disappointed. That's kind of what the status is. So you might as well accept the fact that you're gonna get disappointed, and now it's just the question of, are you gonna like it enough to stay? That's kind of the thing. Because obviously, anything that they create for Middle-earth, if it's a visual adaptation, is gonna be interesting to watch. At least from my point of view. It's like they're finally making a visual thing, a visual moving thing of areas of Middle-earth I've only read about. I mean, I've seen pictures of, like, drawings of John Howe and whatever. People who made them into drawings, but having like a full-on motion picture of Casa Doom in its original state, for instance, is like, I kind of really want to see that. Or like the Numenorian Island, to see that in full-on motion picture. That's like, that is the probably my favorite thing about the whole thing. Like the whole, I guess if you don't see the characters, if you put every character out of the window and just have the props, the locations, and just to see that, that's already a good reason for me to go watch it. But I definitely have to let go of Tolkien a little bit watching the show, because it's been clear, if not by this last trailer, that it's gonna be disappointing regarding storytelling. Like, I feel like there is a small chance that they're gonna be super good, like, in terms of storytelling, but I really have a sense that even the storytelling of this is gonna be super lacking. Like, they need to obviously make up a lot of stuff. Like, there's characters that don't exist. Like, I would say maybe 80% of what you see in the trailer is not real, in a sense. So they already have to make a lot of like, they have to make the story themselves, and that's kind of what I'm worried about. Like, okay, we have this world of Tolkien, and then they are gonna make a story, and is that story gonna be like Middle-earth worthy or not? And I feel like, I kind of want to see it, I don't want to see it. Like, the train is running, and I'm not sure if it's gonna go left or right, but I feel like at the end there's gonna be like a little bit of a pit where the train is gonna fall into. Like, that's we're not sure yet. I try to be open-minded. I'm a huge fan, if you didn't know by now. It's not, for me, it's not anymore about like how they look. Obviously, I'm super disappointed, not just by the fact that they have like a dwarven queen thingy without a beard and like whatever, the elves do not have long hair, like, ugh. And definitely some costumes are very bland, like very, very bland. I mean, I could accept that if the story is right, if that makes sense. Not one-on-one Tolkien per se, but it would be kind of like the Peter Jackson 3 movies, the first 3, where it would be not one-on-one the same story, but it would kind of follow the same touch points, if that makes sense. It would be still true to the original material without it being one-on-one the exact thing what we're kind of focused on, if that makes sense. But by the information that we currently have, we already have enough information that kind of tells us that they're gonna go away from that. And I'm still kind of holding on that last threat to be like, well, maybe you make the story exciting and a little bit like they tended to be in terms of Tolkienish. Please. I mean, I've been super disappointed by the Hobbit movies. Like, I mean, the Hobbit movies, are they bad? They're not 3 out of 10 bad, but they do definitely have some lacking in some ways. And there's definitely scenes I want to delete from my mind forever. But all in all, I had fun watching it. It's kind of close enough to the original material, but like with this, I don't know. Blip, 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 blip. Sunkoi, thank you so much for the rate. Have a good time, and stay sewing. Stay creative. Do your thing. Maybe I'll catch one of your streams in the future, who knows? Would be fun if I don't freaking forget. I mean. Yeah, I can talk about Tolkien all the time, so do be asking questions or not. It's up to you. There's a reason why they get referenced in my raid alert, I guess. And I think also my bits alert. We're gonna see, we're gonna see, we're gonna see. I feel like there is definitely a chance. I feel like, okay, so there's a chance that they're gonna have a great story if they focus on, let's say, the ring raids. I would love them to create stories about the Nazgul, who you see in Peter Jackson's adaptation. If you don't know, it's like the black clothed, they kind of look like demons. They're not demons, but like, they're like the black clothed people without the faces. And I believe you only see them as faces, kind of zombie-like, when Frodo puts on the ring as he gets stabbed by one of them. I would kind of like it if they would go into the storytelling of them, because there's kind of a lot of freedom to do that, because even Tolkien, as he described a lot of things, he didn't really describe a lot about these Dementor-like creatures. I love how J.K. Rowling is like, I created Dementors, look how cool I am, and I'm like, you saw Tolkien. Okay, it's okay. Your Dementors are cool, but she shouldn't really stop making it look like she's like the genius mind that she is. Whereas a lot of pinpoints out of Harry Potter, you could definitely compare it to other writers of the past. I mean, it's not bad. I like her books, but it's kind of a different thing to be boasting about it, you know? Be like, oh, look at this, I have the best creation ever. And I'm like, shut up. Just enjoy the book, man. Like, stop talking about it in a weird way. I mean, 100%. There's definitely, like, even the, how you call those things? that you know who knows who, Voldemort, he had like little pieces of his spirit like tucked away in items thing. That idea is like, it's not very original. It's like, it's cool the way she did it, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not something that she can boast to be saying like, I made that, like that's my thing, where I'm like, well, not really. Like, I mean, the whole spirit transformating into something else thing, like what happens after first book, it's like, that happens in other books too, you know? Like, the Deathly Hallows, that's the name. I forgot. Lich phylacteries are a thing and I've been around for ages. It's not a new concept. Well, yeah, like that. The Deathly Hallows is like, isn't that, oh no, that's the storybook within the, like, oh my god, I do like the world that she built. Like, I'm very criticizing about J.K. Rowling because she has her weird tempers, but like, she made a fun book, or like, I don't know, how many books? 12? I read them all, but like, I forgot how many books. Horcruxes, there we go. Horcruxes, that's, yeah. I felt like I read an article and then I saw an interview and she was like boasting about Horcruxes, how it was super like unique and whatnot, and I'm like, well, hold on, like it's a good idea and I like it in the way she used it, but like it's not as much as she claims it to be. Like, that's kind of the thing, isn't it? It's like, I feel like as young adults reading Harry Potter, I think I was 14 maybe, I think the way she wrote it was very readable. I feel like I like the way that she wrote the story in terms of it was easy to read and stuff, but it's not like she is the best creator of worlds of all time. Like, I feel like far off. If you start reading other writers, like I'm obviously a huge Tolkien fan, but you have other writers, for instance the guy from Discworld. I mean, I feel like he's already way better, like but they don't have a lot of, let's say, they only fantasy reading people like these people. But if you only watch the movies and whatever, and you're kind of like basic level, then you obviously don't know these people, which is obviously like very, it makes sense that you don't know, right? I couldn't blame it, but it's more like, you should stop making it out to be as if she's like the fantasy writing queen, where I'm like, well, to be honest, I feel like there's other people out there that are super good, you know? Terry Pratchett, yeah. Terry Pratchett is one of my favorite ones after like Tolkien. Tolkien is my favorite, and then probably Terry Pratchett is like right underneath there, maybe. And that guy, what was his name again? This is the thing, I don't know the names by heart. I kind of wish I did. Who wrote this guy? This Frank Herbert, yeah, June. So the writer of June. I kind of like June a lot as well. I prefer Terry Pratchett still, but personal preference. Sissy Baka, nani kore? Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Welcome to the community. We're talking about fantasy writers, novelists, fantasy writers. I don't really like her as a person personally. I do like how she made a cool story and world, but only saw the movies since I'm not great with reading. It's kind of nice that they created the movies during the time that she was still there. Lathander, hello, welcome to the channel. Hello, how are you doing? Sassy Baka. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I have opinions on Tolkien, phenomenal lack of proper editing. Tolkien and editing. I love Tolkien because he is like that, if that makes sense. I love him for that annoying English dude that he is. It's like, he's like, if you would find him in a pub just drinking beer, he would be one of those interesting, cute grandpas, you know? That's what I like about him so much. Yeah, I mean, the thing with languages, I feel like Frank Herbert liked Tolkien, and he looked at Tolkien going with languages and all that, and he was like, yeah, I want that, you know? And then it... If that makes sense, like... Yeah, I don't know. I'm good, and so is the bunny I bought! Oh, you bought a bunny for me! Where did you buy it? On TwitchCon, perhaps? I noticed a tulip, so I'm kind of just assuming, but... Let me know if I'm wrong. I don't know everyone by heart. I wish I did, but... I can't make a promise I can't keep, right? It does make sense, but I struggle with the book as a result. Yeah, I understand. The thing is, if people do not like Tolkien, I can totally understand them, because Tolkien, for one, he has the most interesting way to write a book. Like, his way of writing is obviously not for everyone, and that's kind of what I like about it. It's like, if you don't like it, I understand, but I am totally a big fan of that. Like, not of the way that it is different, but the fact that the way he does it is something I really personally like. Peter! Oh, Katie! Hey, guy. How are you doing? I'd love to hear him talk, but I hated parts of the book with such a passion. Oh, what did you not like about the book? I don't mind spoiling a bit about the book, because I read it all, so I'm not... There's no spoiling for me, if that makes sense. I like the Tolkien movies in a completely different way than the books. The books are... Yeah, I totally agree with that one. The books are about creating a world where the story is secondary and not that interesting. He's writing a history rather than a story. I do actually agree with that. I completely agree. I feel like... I wouldn't say the story is secondary, but it's like his emphasis on creating a world and a history is more than traditional books where you have a character and everyone is like, everything is like surrounded around that character with like secondary characters, and then, you know, depending on how many main characters you do have. Obviously a lot of things are like very... Peter, thank you for resubscribing! Take good care of your little turtle in front of your name, as it needs a little bit of attention. And you have a new one, so better take care of it. And enjoy the new emotes, and welcome back. Support your local artist! Which is what Jake and Bake said about my work. I still need to cut out that part. And I want to use it as one of my alerts. Yeah, so I agree. It's like, it's not... It's like, there is, like, if you read The Lord of the Rings, it's definitely Frodo is still, like, obviously a main character, but it's more like, it's way more than just main character, has issues, tension, span, the end, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. I just love the take that he does, the amount of details that go into it. It's amazing. It kind of gets me excited just like history class did. Like with all the details, all the other characters, everyone has their own thoughts and their own actions and whatever. Like, I can't stop reading about them because they're so... Everyone is so diverse and has... And their whole entire reality to it. I knew the story was amazing, so I really wanted to stick with it, but there was so much writing around the action that I would just get lost in it. Yeah, that's the thing. Tolkien taught me to skim read, because I didn't think... Oh, because I think I got a lot better about filtering out unimportant information as a result of it. Oh, really? I read Tolkien very differently. I read Tolkien like a history book. Not gonna lie. I don't read Tolkien as a fantasy novel. I read Tolkien as a history book type of thing, which I personally really like. But again, I can totally see why people do not like it. In that same regard. It helps that, nowadays, you have, YouTube to help you, right? When I started with all the books, I only had my mom to help me with it, because she's a Tolkien fan as well. Surprise, surprise. It's in the family. But then there were Lord of the Rings YouTubers, and those people really helped me even get into Tolkien more. And now that there's some YouTubers out there that are doing a great work of just explaining characters, explaining settings, story arcs, and whatever, it's, I even got more into it. I was like, I knew this was great, and now it's even greater. Look at this duel. So yeah, I love that. I just enjoy the whole thing around it as well, the community and whatnot. I do not like people who go, like a lot of Tolkien people are like, actually, it's not pronounced that way, it's pronounced this way. They're like that type of people. I wish kind of that part was gone, but if you're not like that, then we're fine. I love Silmarillion. I still prefer Lord of the Rings though, because the thing is, Silmarillion is a good emphasis on how cool the Lord of the Rings is. That's it to me. Lord of the Rings is always the story I love the most. I feel like it's the most complete. But the Silmarillion is such a good yeah, like a little bit of a background story. It's like the biggest background story to the Lord of the Rings. And I do me likey background stories. Sun Ocean Katie, welcome back. Yeah, we're talking about Tolkien again. Guilty. 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 Me. We talk a lot about Tolkien, but it's mainly because I love Tolkien and you guys love Tolkien. And then we start talking about it and then there's no end to it. I mean, it's coming out, like the new series is coming out in 8 days or something. Like 8 freaking days. Flowy is a massive fan. Oh, probably Slowy. I'm like, who's Flowy? But it's probably me. Oh. Whoops. I love the English grandpa that Tolkien was. He's like the old, cute, grumpy grandpa that cared so much. He cared way too much. I love it. I can only adore people with such passion. I kind of hope I'll probably get into like Terry Pratchett more, just like I got into Tolkien. Terry Pratchett is one of those writers I still want to get into more, but I didn't take the time yet. It's kind of sad they already passed as well, but it is what it is, obviously. I'm like trying to find which books I read, which was a long time ago. He has such a funny face. Buckinghamshire, England. What is it with the English artists that I really like? If you have any recommendation based on Terry Pratchett and Tolkien, let me know. You said Neil Gaiman? He's from like Coraline, right? Right? He made Coraline. Because I love Coraline. I know there's a book of Coraline, I still want to read it. It's one of those things I still want to do. I don't think... did I read a Neil Gaiman book? I don't think I did. Yeah, okay, he is from Coraline. Okay. I'm just sad that most mainstreamers think anything fantasy is Lord of the Rings. I really do not like that either. Because it goes the other way as well. It's not just, oh, this is fantasy-like, so it's like Tolkien-y fantasy. It goes the other way as well. If people think like, oh, Tolkien, like, he makes elves, right? And then this, and that. And they have a lot of presumptions about what he wrote or what he thought writing it. And I'm like, no, that's kind of what the mainstream media did, or what the Peter Jackson movies did, or what, you know, other media shit did. It's not like what Tolkien did. Because Tolkien already passed away, like, a long time ago. He made his thing. He didn't mean to become such, like, a mainstream fantasy person, I guess. It's the same with dwarves. Like, dwarves, obviously Tolkien has his dwarves, but then other people made things that you could associate with Tolkien's dwarves, but they're not the same. Like, it's a different type of dwarf. And it goes the other way as well, I feel like. People tell me like, oh, Tolkien, wasn't he like super racist or whatever? And I'm like, in what way? What do you mean? He was just creating a history book. Like, he was doing his like passion project, which became his livelihood, if that makes sense. Just because he wrote something, it doesn't mean that he's he's a racist or something. Like, it doesn't, it's so dumb. It's so dumb, I feel like. It's like, yeah, Tolkien hated women. I'm like, what the fuck? He wrote Eowyn in his time. He didn't hate women. In fact, he was like praising them all the time. And I feel like it's also like a time essence again. I mean, it doesn't make it any more right or wrong, but I feel like it's kind of, it's tiring me out a little bit with the discussion around that. Oh, Good Omens. Okay, I didn't know he co-wrote it. No, he wasn't praising them all the time, but he was praising his wife all the time, I mean. I feel like people just don't know that Eowyn was one of the most feministic characters that he ever created, and he created her in like, what was it, 1939 or something? Like, back then, she was like a feministic type of character, and then people had issues with her, and now it's like the other way around. But this is the thing: people think Eowyn, and they think about Peter Jackson's Eowyn, and they see the character that's like loving Aragorn so much. She's getting into this three-way thing where she's trying to make Aragorn hers and whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's the Peter Jackson Eowyn. It's not Tolkien's Eowyn, if that makes sense. I mean, women not wearing any like armor, it's like, yeah, it's as old as time. It's the same with the Romans and the Greeks, where they would be like almost wearing nothing, you know, like, look at me, my manly self, I'm almost naked. It's like, Yeah, is it really that handy? No, it's not. I'll wait. I'll wait. Anime boy stars. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you so much. Welcome to the community. I love anime too. I talk less about anime on stream, but I do in fact know quite a lot about anime. I might actually watch more anime than I actively indulge myself with Tolkien stuff currently. Maybe, probably if you combine it all, it's like I put more time into anime than Tolkien stuff altogether, I think. Honestly. Xagi, okay, welcome back. How you doing? Long time no see. People often don't realize that women in both fantasy and history are usually not seen as lesser, but more different. Yeah, it's like, obviously, we would not agree with it nowadays, but I feel like people are like judging people from the past in that regard, and I'm like, well, times were different, you know? Like, it's... I don't think that all people consciously in the past were like, yeah, let's just put women in the corner and like have them not work or anything. We're gonna be super happy with that. Like, it's not consciously putting them down. It's more like they have more of a class system, and even within men and within women there was like issues with that. I kind of feel like, yeah, people are putting their current thoughts onto it, and it's okay to like disagree with it, obviously. Hopefully we live in a somewhat more free time where you can like kind of decide yourself. It's not been a long time since women were like allowed to like work or have careers or whatever, so we're kind of still in that past generation vibe where we're just like thinking about the role of men and women and whatnot. Anime boys, have a good time. Thanks for the follow. Maybe see you in the future streams. And you too, have a good meal. It's almost 5, alright. Enjoy. Doing good, how have you been? New office looks good, thank you! It's not my official setup, I guess. I would like to say it's still pretty much temporarily. Because I'm gonna add and extend my desk. So in that way it's gonna maybe point to a different location in the room in the future. But currently I don't have any, active, like, I don't know when I'll be doing that, so it could take a long time actually, but we'll see. I have to take things bit by bit. But in general, yes, this is the new office. I hope you like it. I can take you a look around if you want me to, like just a little 360 turn if you want. There are no less men working on the household and raising kids, but not because they think it's less important beneath them. Exactly. That's kind of how I feel as well. Glossy! Okay, welcome back! O genki desu ka? How are you guys doing? If you have any questions, feel free to ask, by the way. I'm here to answer your questions. Unless it's not a question I'd like to answer. But don't be afraid to ask. Because asking is allowed. I'm currently working on this Peepo. That's getting closer and closer to be finished, by the way. I feel like we have a better... I have a better, like, talking to working ratio right now. I try to talk and also work at the same time. It's hard to re-chat and then do everything. What are you having for dinner? I have no idea, to be honest. I think we're gonna have leftover risotto. Because, there was a lot yesterday, and I put it in one of those containers. And I'm thinking we're gonna just preheat that. I'm about 3 movies I wanted to see from this past weekend, and this upcoming weekend there will be like 4 more I need to binge. Which ones are you gonna watch? It's been a while since I've watched a movie, not gonna lie. I canceled my subscription to the cinema not too long ago because I needed to not spend a lot of money on things like that, because I was working on, obviously, preparing studio and getting more stuff that had to do with the moving rather than fun times like movies. Thank you, El Plagiato. Not a question, but Coco will go on her final journey this weekend, and I'm still torn if I should tell Grandma today since it's her birthday, or leave it a complete surprise. Happy birthday, by the way, for your grandma. It's a good question. I can't actually answer that. Like you said, it's not really a question. But, yeah, I can see you struggling with that one. Both has ups and downs, I'd say. For those who do not know, Coco is a resident, a little sheep fwa resident that made her way to Germany. And she's gonna live forever with Sun Ocean's grandma as a birthday present. I do honestly want to know her reaction a little bit, though. Like, I'm honestly, like, I kind of want to know what she's gonna say. I'm really happy I got to work on Coco and stuff. I noticed that with custom orders, it's a lot of hassle for me to like time it properly. Even with these Peepo, I realized like, okay, pre-orders are like this. I need to keep working and then working on other things at the same time. It's gonna be a good New Year's resolution to manage my pillar of events, a pillar of online releases, and like a pillar of commissions, and then see if we can balance it out, and then also take notice of like my income at the same time. It's gonna be interesting. I want to know it too, but I sadly won't be there. Our holidays started this weekend. Oh, it's already this weekend. Oh, interesting. I wasn't sure when you were gonna go. What is your, like, general plan when it comes to holidays? Because you are visiting multiple countries, right? From what I remember. We're gonna actually move to the hand stitching, because we've done everything on the sewing machine right now. So I'm gonna put the sewing machine on the ground. We're gonna move on to the hand stitching of this guy. And now I need to see what we're gonna do with this. Like this. All right. Now it's flat Peepo. But soon, it's not flat Peepo. Because it's gonna get stuffing. I want to, oh wait, we will go to Switzerland for a week to visit friends, then 3 days Paris and 4 days Haarlem. Ooh, so you chose Haarlem. Haarlem is great. Honestly, Haarlem is quite, I don't want to say posh, that sounds very negative. Haarlem is, however, very expensive to live in, so it's a pretty place, not gonna lie. and probably a good starting point for your travels here. Tuck some filling material into his brain. Oh, by train. Nice. So did you get like the Interrail ticket? I was looking at the Interrail ticket the other day to see if it's an option for my own holidays in October. I really want to go to Switzerland as well because my brother lives in Lausanne. And I still need to go there. But it's just very expensive, that's the downside. Aside Polish movies, I want to see that one about Notre Dame burning, considering going to 4 times after movie marathon. Oh, interesting. I don't know about that one, to be honest. Aside Polish movies, wait, and other ones are all white movies that are only there because they will be free. Oh, nothing I would consider interesting to watch. Alright. I mean, if you ever come across one, I'm gonna be interesting to see. Oh, close to a train station. Alright, alright. I kind of know Haarlem pretty good. I used to go there a lot growing up because my mom and dad, who live in the north of like that area of the Netherlands, we would always travel around during the weekends. So Haarlem was one of those destinations we often went to. Let's see. Oh, Interrail, alright. I definitely want to visit Alkmaar with the cheese market. Oh, cute! And maybe make it to the beach at some point. Yeah, that sounds good. Egmond is pretty nice. I like it. Or I don't know. So you're gonna stay in the north mainly of the Netherlands, which is like North Holland, which is like the province that Haarlem is in, and Amsterdam, where Crawdad Sing was surprisingly good, and I am on a fence of saying it's worth buying tickets to watch it. Interesting. I don't know about that one. Let me just Google it. It's hard to really surprise me with movies nowadays. Like 90% of the reason that we went to the cinemas for movies, it's like, it's just fun for the cinema experience, but like you kind of know that most movies are not that great. Oh yeah, I might have seen a trailer of this movie. It's like a thriller, right? Like a drama, thriller, mystery type of thing. It's like based on a book? Okay. Interesting. Oh, it's a pretty well-rated one. I can see it's currently airing, like... Is it airing? I don't know if you call it airing. It's in our cinemas currently. Apparently. It would definitely be a movie I'd go to if I would still have my subscription, though. Peepo, nani kore? He's twisted. His mind is twisted. I should probably point his mouth up. He's not sure what kind of expression to have currently. Your fed belly. Fed belly. I need to hand stitch this part as well. I made a little bit of a whoopsie there. First, we're gonna close off the... Look at that. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna probably point this one up a little bit, like this. Yeah, that's way better. Make him point it up, because he's a little bit, like, twisted. He has, like, an S-shaped mouth, currently. Other side looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna hand-stitch the top of Peepo. I forgot the name of the station, but to Boyfriend's Delight, it's super close to IKEA. You want to go to IKEA in the Dutchlands? Interesting. I haven't been to IKEA in ages. New Dragon Ball movie, on the other hand, was a waste of time. There is another Dragon Ball movie? Is it like an animated one? Probably not as bad as the live action version. That one sucked. Oh, here, Dragon Ball Superhero. Is that the one? It's, oh yeah, it's here in cinemas as well. I always wonder with those types of movies if I'll get it if I don't watch anything else. I've only watched Dragon Ball Z. Grumpy Peepo. Yeah, poor Grumpy Peepo. He's just been born. Let me just grab the right colors. This one, and then this wipe. And then scissors, and then hand stitchy man. This is hand stitchy man. Hand stitchy man's right here. Ooh, they use 3D models in Dragon Ball? Interesting. That's not the association I have with Dragon Ball. Interesting. It was like watching a game cutscene and not anime. I don't like that aesthetic. Ooh, yeah, I used to have Dragon Ball on PlayStation 2, I think, or Xbox 360. One of those two. So I kind of get what you're saying. That doesn't sound pretty at all, actually. Too bad. Peepo is not yet happy yet. He will be in a few seconds. In seconde. First, I prepare the hand stitching. He just needs some surgery, that's all. And then he will be happy. He will be like reborn Peepo. What's the time? 5, alright. I'm gonna assume I'll stay here until 6:30, which is an hour and 20 minutes from now on. So basically yet another Forsen waiting stream. Forsen, who is another streamer, that is. Another streamer. I mean, he is the streamer. The godfather of gaming. Just kidding. Not really. He's not. He is a god gamer though, which is close enough. I hope if One Piece movie will air in my country, it will be better. Interesting. It's so funny to me that in 2022, many years after I became like someone that watches a lot of anime, the names like Dragon Ball and One Piece would still be out there. Like, it's crazy to me how that is still like in, like, I would have expected that to stop, just like Naruto did. I mean, Naruto did stop and then Boruto came around, but like, at least I would have kind of expected something like that to happen. But these creators are just gonna continue, aren't they? Like, they'll keep continuing like crazy. Usually anime movies are not that great, but yeah, when I had the subscription to the cinema, I would watch them every now and then. I much prefer the one-shot movies that are animated, I guess. Which is not like a movie of an existing series, more like a standalone movie, like Your Name or something. Or the Ghibli movies or something. One Piece has like three arcs left? Oh, really? I knew that the manga stopped, didn't it? Like, I'm still not sure if that was the right show I read it about, but I always make the joke, like, have they finally found One Piece after a million years? I'm just watching very different types of shows, basically. Bell? What is Bell? I'm very not, up to date, am I? I used to be pretty up to date because of the subscription, but now I'm not, actually. What the fuck is Bell? I'm currently watching seasonal anime right now. I'm thinking, am I currently watching something else non-airing? I don't think I am currently. Not actively, at least. I need to burn my kitchen down. There's an anime spin of Beauty and the Beast? I didn't know that. Why are they recreating existing stories so much? I kind of wish that there would be more. Give me all those original things, like not stop recreating stuff. We have plenty of movies and shows that are good enough as their like movie or TV series equivalent. I feel like. That's kind of the same feeling I have with stuff like Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, I mean, you could technically speaking make more Spider-Man, but like, at this point, I'm like, just make something new. Make a new superhero. It's okay to leave things in the past and be like, you know, it's what's done, it's done. Ah, okay, it's not a recreation. Interesting. Oh boy, the Japanese do love their Disney stuff. They do, in fact. Pretty big there. Just like Ghibli is. It's 5 o'clock and I feel like the heat is not really going away currently. I mean, at least not here. It's pretty sunny still. I mean, at least the heat is like pretty terrible, not gonna lie. I kind of want to see if I can go to the post office tomorrow. I tried one post office the other day and I'm not sure if I like it. I might go for like a new address instead. It's more of a personal thing because they did deliver my packages to the right place. It's not like they did anything wrong. But it was very, I don't know, my usual post office was like a very cute small store and you would always talk a little bit with the owner of the store, you know, like, how's it going? Oh, I see you made another plushie today. It looks so good. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? I kind of miss that vibe a little bit, so I might just go for a different address just to see if I can find more of a commercialized place, I think, when it comes to post offices. Luckily, I do live very close to the city center, so there's definitely still a chance I can get that that personalized experience somewhere else. The movie was about online VR community? Really? You can say where you become persona of your creation, and basically it's like social media on steroids, like people getting popular and stuff. And it had singing? I have a weird idea that I've known about this before. Is it a movie that Giguk talked about? If you know him by any chance. Giguk is like a YouTuber that talks about anime. I have a feeling that he talked about this movie, because it does ring some bells that they're kind of explaining it. Oh, you know him from the Trash Taste podcasts. Interesting. I think I've literally watched every Trash Taste thing there is, but mainly because when I'm working here and I'm not streaming, I usually put on like a Trash Taste episode or something like that. One of those things that you can easily listen to and have some visuals on the background of, but not necessarily need it. Oh, you're more familiar with Joey. Interesting. I mean, he is pretty old on the platform. I mean, I was associated with all three of them before they started the podcast together, which is very fun to me. Like, to me, it's more like, oh, hey, these three are now working together. That's interesting. The first one I watched was Giguk, but that was because he started the first, so I guess that's already a race that they couldn't win. Based on my event experience where I sell Trash Taste merch, I'd say that currently Connor is the most popular one. And it's usually kind of a race between Joey and Garnt, who comes in second. Usually it's Joey though. No, don't fail on me on the last stitch. Don't fail on me on the last stitch. Why are you doing this? Boopy doopy doo. Alright. I can save it still. Just click the exit button. Somehow it was knotted inside this stitch. I don't know why. Whoop. Peepo. Yeah. Alrighty, mighty. Now we're gonna fix Peepo in the other spot. Let's see. This is usually the fixing I don't have to do, but I made a tiny whoopsie and now I have to fix it. That's okay. It's underneath his leg, which he moves as one of his French girls. I love how Peepo became such a big part of the Twitch community. And I still wonder where Peepo got created. Because Peepo is the same character as Pepe, I'd say, but he's like the cute equivalent of Pepe. And I associate Peepo more with Twitch than I do with anything else. Honestly. Bee 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 bee. Bee bee bee. I wonder if I can find a good blue fabric like this one, because just like most of my other fabrics, I got this blue fabric, I believe, from one of the local markets. And the problem is, it's hard to find it again, because it was most likely the last couple of yards that they had, and they just sold it for like cheaper. Alright. Leg also fixed. It's standing on its head. Whoop. Alright. Now we need to fix your face a little. Because that's a little, he's looking empty. There's no, pupils and stuff. We need to fix his pupils and whatnot. First I'll do the mouth. Maybe I should put this a little bit there. Yeah. Yeah. Ta-da! And then this part. Thinking where should I start? I'm currently gonna move up, like, his mouth a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can make it smile. Make Peepo smile a bit more. That's a tough one, though. I need to make sure that you don't see, like, this part being stitched on, of course. Oh. Yeah. Better. Yeah, I think this is better. Alright. Beep, boop. No, I was too fast. Oh, nice. Okay. Oh. Okay, no. Okay. I thought I broke it, but I didn't. Just great, honestly.